My name is Sahiba and I'm doing price simulation for Universal Car Rentals. My login credentials for simulation. Objectives. The main objective of this assignment was to gain cumulative profit and cover costs. For this, I have used a mix of two strategies from pricing strategy tripod, that is cost and competition based pricing. The initial strategy was to calculate price elasticity and apply pricing strategy tripod as suitable and make profits. However, it didn't work well as the fluctuating competition prices and customer perceived values resulted in huge losses for both Universal Car Rental and competition. I started with the price imitation strategy for November by observing the past 2 months' trends, that is, lowering the prices for Orlando on both weekday and weekends and increasing the prices for Miami. Although by using the same strategy, their net revenue had risen in October, it fell for Orlando in November. However, this strategy worked well for Miami. There was an overall decline in daily orders and capacity utilization. The strategy for December was to have a premium pricing for the car rental service, considering the festival time, as I was expecting more tourists and expected some seasonal increase in demand. The idea was to manage demand using marketing mix elements, that is, by charging high price during peak hours. But unlikely, the demand became highly price elastic and market demand highly felt. There was up to 10% decline in capacity utilization for both Orlando and Miami. However, chasing demand through comparatively lesser fleet size would have yielded a better result in this situation. I reduced the prices for the month of January, responding to the lower market demand due to high price elasticity last month. Also, I have readjusted the fleet size to their maximum utilization. With an overall rise in market share, there was a tremendous rise in our capacity utilization and unit sales. I still reported 0.3% decline in pre-tax profit for Orlando and 4.2% decline in pre-tax profit for Miami. Competition managed higher unit sales with slightly lower prices. I have used psychological pricing strategy for February. This has resulted in a fair rise in market demand, unit sales, and capacity utilization for both Orlando and Miami. Orlando responded positively by reflecting a rise in pre-tax profit. However, Miami witnessed a massive loss of $1.66 million even after 100% capacity utilization due to prices being lower than the floor price. Higher rental prices in Miami would have helped prevented this huge loss. Considering the huge loss for Miami last month and also unit sales trends, the strategy was now to apply competitive pricing strategy for Orlando and cost-based pricing strategy for Miami, while sticking to the psychological pricing. The strategy was an absolute success and resulted in 4.7% increase in pre-tax profit for Orlando and 10.2% increase in pre-tax profit for Miami. Unit sales for both Orlando and Miami were higher than competitors. However, similar strategy didn't work out for Universal Rentals in April because of price competition intensifiers. Competitors' low weekend prices in Orlando and low overall prices in Miami led to a fall in our daily orders, thereby resulting in decline in pre-tax profit. The idea of freemium services didn't work as price inhibitors as perceived value of service was much less than perceived cost of service for the customers. Also, I didn't make much change in the fleet size as there were not much unfilled orders and we were utilizing up to 98% of our existing capacity. Seeing an overall decline in April, the strategy now was to stick with competitive pricing for Orlando while slightly increasing the prices, and cost-based pricing on weekday and competitive-based pricing on weekend for Miami. The outcome was reduced unit sales for Orlando but increased pre-tax profit, and increased unit sales for Miami but reduced pre-tax profit. June While premium pricing due to seasonal increase in demand didn't work well in December, it was a success in June for Miami. Even with up to $6 price rise, unit sales for Miami is higher than the competition because demand was price inelastic. Price and non-monetary costs were considered for managing the demand. For Orlando, even though the unit sales were higher than competitor, comparatively lower prices resulted in the decline in net income. By continuing with the premium pricing strategy, I have managed to increase the pre-tax profit for July by 4% for Orlando and 6.5% for Miami. Demand was highly price inelastic for Miami. Also, I have adjusted the fleet size for Orlando to 22,400 and Miami for 16,188. Market demand for rental cars fell for both Orlando and Miami in August. Premium pricing led to a decline in capacity utilization, giving the competition an edge over universal car rental. Capacity utilization was declined by 8% for Orlando and 10% for Miami. The last month of simulation, September, resulted in no better as decline in prices didn't help better the situation. The net income for both Orlando and Miami dropped significantly, with Orlando resulting in a loss of $270,000. However, competition also got a much bigger hit by 1.95 million loss in Orlando market while making a minimal profit of $71,000 in Miami. Simulation results. Cumulative profit was only $9.23 million because of huge losses made in December and February. Final market share is still 50.1%. Cumulative unit sales is 14.6 million. Capacity utilization is 77%. And the final month was a loss because of Orlando. Learning outcomes. There are multiple factors affecting the pricing strategy at one point of time. It is very important to calculate all the factors including competition pricing, daily orders, capacity utilization, and seasonal changes while determining the pricing for a service for any month. Break-even analysis should be carefully done to avoid huge losses. There can be a huge impact of price elasticity on demand. Unpredicted factors can often affect the demand and supply for a service. Therefore, we should be conservatively defining the rate fences. In a fluctuating demand service, pricing strategy highly affects the competitor's profits and rate fences. Last but not the least, psychological pricing can impact the sales positively. Thank you.